if you train hard enough, you can achieve superhuman stuff like Cassandra Cain dodging bullets and looking at the bullets mid-flight. Or some simple super soldier serum that's apparently supposed to make you peak of human perfection, can make you strong enough to throw shields through tanks. But with enough hard work and dedication, people that don't have superpowers can hang with Captain America. You know, people have a problem with that superhuman aspect of what humans can achieve in Marvel or DC Comics, right? But nobody ever complains about how strong humans can become in shows like Baki, where nobody has powers, but they're still able to achieve superhuman strength feats and stuff. In fiction, humans can do amazing things, but in shows like One Punch Man, humans exist, monsters exist, cyborgs exist, superheroes in general exist. Some beings are like Genos, who are cybernetically enhanced beings. Some beings are aliens, which makes sense on why they're superhuman. But on the One Punch Man planet, there's actually humans that are ridiculously strong. Like this being like Darkshine, for example, who's ridiculously strong and apparently doesn't have no superpowers or nothing, just trained real hard. See, in the One Punch Man universe, there's like a ranking system, A being pretty good, but then when it comes to Darkshine, he's actually in the top 20 strongest in the S tier, so he's pretty high up there on the food chain when it comes to his rank and power level. The reason why the way he is because when he was a child, he was bad at sports because of his frail body. Whether it was a sport or tag, he kept losing in every game he ever played. He never developed any self-confidence and lived his childhood as a wimp. And then on his 15th birthday, he begged his parents to buy him some dumbbells. From then on, he exercised with them every day. The weight of the dumbbells gradually increased. Several years later, the weight of which he can curl would increase to where he can curl over 100 pounds. If you're a weightlifter in real life, you know that's an absurd amount of weight to curl with one arm. Then he was able to curl 400 pounds with one arm, then 1 ton, then 2 tons. And after several more years, the strength he was able to obtain with his body, he had reached a point where nobody could quantify with numbers. He established a big degree of self-confidence through all the battles and flawless victories he successfully established. It is said that his muscles have no equal. He dominated various sports, competitions. He turned his attention to Hero Association, became an active hero on stage, and never stopped his training. He kept on winning and was eventually promoted to the S-class rank, with his only true weakness being his mentality. Because when he's finally faced with a true challenge, like a being I'm going to bring up later on in this video, he actually kind of gets scared, which is actually pretty realistic. Let's be honest, guys. If you say you've never been scared in your life, you're just straight up lying. Like, look at these facial expressions. But with all that stuff aside, let's analyze how strong this guy is, though. And no, I don't understand why he lost all his hair from working out, because, what, was he on gear or something? Thank goodness there's an official weight for this guy, because it's ridiculously hard to calculate how these anime weights be looking. But apparently he has an official weight based on the One Punch Man encyclopedia of his weight being 250 kilograms, which means his body itself, without him lifting anything, his body itself weighs 550 pounds. He's 550 pounds and ripped with abs and veins and low body fat. Buddy is almost 600 pounds of straight muscle, y'all. Yeah, his fans are muscle people too. He bends frying pans into shapes for his fans to show his strength. Like, seriously, he be making beans in the paste with his strength. Everybody complains about Marvel and DC characters being unrealistic, but this guy apparently trained his muscles so hard to where you can't even pierce him. His muscles make for extra durability. Like this being, for example, can't even pierce through his body. He said his drills are as tough as steel. He said, is this really Flash? It lets you know how durable he is. He even says steel can never pierce his well-trained body. He's strong enough to squat cars as warm-ups. Just from his pure lore, we know he can lift more than 2 tons with 1 arm. So with 2 arms, he can curl 4 tons. Back in the day when he was still increasing his power, they even say he's above this. They straight up said that the strength he's able to attain with his body has reached so high you can't quantify with numbers. So he's obviously way above 2 tons he can lift with a single arm. We're not even going to talk about his legs and stuff, everything together. If his arms can lift 2 tons, squatting this car is just literally a warm up. Like in this occasion, for example, there's like a literal gravity room, like on some Dragon Ball Z stuff, and there's 15 times gravity, and he's working out in a place like this, right? We already know what his weight is. If his weight is already 550 pounds, if you multiply that weight by 15, that would mean his body in this gravity chamber would be a bare minimum of 8,000 pounds. But look, he actually has weight on top of this that he's holding. I'm not even counting that part yet. These plates he has looks like they're bigger in real life plates, but if you're a weightlifter in real life, these would normally be like 45 pounds each, with the bar being somewhere around 45 pounds. If we assume he's holding up the same weight with the same amount of plates, that each plate weighs at least 45 pounds, if we was to add all this together, this would be a bare minimum weight of 405 pounds without even being a gravity chamber. If we add in the fact he's in a gravity chamber, you have to multiply at least 405 times 15. This would come out to a weight of 6,000 pounds he's holding up because of the gravity chamber making it weigh this. And this is like technically a low ball because we're just assuming these plates are like real life plates. They look a lot bigger than real life plates. We're just assuming for the sake of the video that these are similar to real life plates about them being 45 pounds if you're a weightlifter and stuff like that. We got to remember he's holding this 6,000 pounds while his body already raised 8,000 pounds. And the amount of weight he's exerting is cracking the ground. You see how strong he is? We're just getting started with his strength. They even talk about it in the guidebook. His body has become an impenetrable fortress, hardest body, tough as steel, the best defense in all of the hero world. So they're saying a lot of good things about him in his One Punch Man encyclopedia. And he's literally got proof of him lifting the entire train car. This doesn't seem to be that much of a struggle either. It shows his raw power. So this right here proves he can lift over 60 plus tons. A good way to understand how strong he is to compare him to other beings in the universe. One could say he's above or stronger than when it comes to muscles and lifting stuff up. His way of building muscles is different from Prisoner and Tank Top Man. Basically, two other beings in the One Punch Man universe that specialize in muscle building and stuff of that such. One can say whatever they can do physically, he should be able to do similarly or above. Like, we already know what Tank Top Man has done. He even said it's impossible. He cannot lose in a class of physical bodies. It's like, soon as he said this, he brought up Tank Top Man and the Prisoner buff guy, implying that not even them. I think the writer intent is clear that he should be somewhere comparable to them or better, because they even bring it up. He's considered the pinnacle of physical combat, not counting telekinetic beings and stuff like that. Things that weigh thousands or even hundreds of thousands of tons, Tank Top Master can halt. Despite them being this big, Darkshine should be able to duplicate the same feat as well. So if he can stop or lift or halt things that weigh thousands of tons, Darkshine should be able to do the same. There's this being that he does lose to, Garo, for example. This Prisoner strong being that's ridiculously strong even is surprised. So it implies that he's stronger than him. Look at the size difference between the two too. I mean, he's literally a higher rank than these beings. For example, these two, and if these two can lift a building or if one of them can lift a building, don't see no reason why he shouldn't be able to. He's a higher rank. When it comes to his fighting ability, he builds his fighting style around how strong he is and how much of a tank he is and his muscles in general, just naming his attacks. Super Alloy Bazooka, for example, like a super punch, basically. You got some type of lore idea of how strong he is based on the tier he is. He's an S tier, very high up on the food chain. But you got to remember, in the One Punch Man universe, they have to face off against monsters or threats. They rank them in these categories, disaster levels, for example. And a good way to understand how strong he actually is when it comes to his punching power, strikes, or stuff of that sort, you got to look at the creatures he can fight and their threat levels. For example, a demon is already a threat to a whole city. Dragon is a threat to multiple cities, blah, blah, blah. For example, a demon level threat can threaten a whole city. And guess what? This god bug being that's a threat to a whole city is just hammering it on Darkshine. Darkshine even roasts him, saying you're pathetically weak compared to what he thought you was going to be. Even when he says, even when he says he's going to go all out and transforms, he spams these attacks and he just stands there and eats it and then gets one punched by Darkshine so he can mess up beings with one hit that are a threat to a whole city with his raw strength and punching power. This being right here is a B tier hero. To let you know the gap between a B tier and S tier, look how he's just talking to her while them attacks not hurting him at all. To show off his durability, he's just running through them like butter and paste. She's even confused about the monsters. As soon as they touch him, they get destroyed. What kind of training did he put himself through? Like the girl that gave him props. Notice how she's fighting this creature here getting stomped. Well, she's not really getting that hurt, but yeah, she's getting stomped on. Notice how he swipes them away like nothing. They get obliterated. But in her defense, she can also destroy these creatures too. So these are pretty low ranked creatures. If B tiers can do this to them. You know, just a friendly reminder that boulders coming at him at crazy speeds don't do nothing to him. Same with rocks breaking on his skin. They break on his head. A big chunk of a building falls on him. He's like, what happened? Durability. Let's get back to the disaster rank creatures he can take on. You got beings that are disaster rank of dragon, like Black Sperm. Dragons are a threat to multiple cities. When they try to overwhelm him with multiple bodies, they can't really do nothing to Darkshine. It's not a threat. He can make a tsunami of himself that can roll over buildings and such. Even they pretty much said, if we keep splitting up, we could pound on this durable gorilla for ages and not make a dent in them. They gotta merge. Disaster ranking level dragon, evil natural water. It lets you know that some dragon level threats are not even a threat to him because he treats his blast like a freaking shower. Helps his shine out like, bruh. He's treating him like a joke, saying it's a nice pressure shower. And his attacks scatter him. Strong punches, right? You got another dragon level threat that fused with another dragon level threat. This is during the occasion when a lot of the heroes were working together doing team up moves on them. And Darkshine was a part of this to help out. To where she had to dip out of that body, like, yeah, this body's useless. Like, when it comes to how hard he can hit, there's not really too many clear showings of it, but we know there's upper end S classes like Tatsumaki that can use her telekinetic power to blow away a city if she felt like it. or even continents if she decides to go all out, I don't want to assume he's somewhere near her because she's way higher than him when it comes to rank. I think a fair assessment would be that he should easily be able to kick several buildings apart with ease, level small mountains or larger mountains. Like maybe he couldn't punch a city or an island in half or nothing, but a fair assessment would be like maybe he can shake one with his punches, maybe. What do you guys think? Do you think he has enough punching power to shake an island? I think it's within the realm of possibility when you look at the opponents he's fought, beings that are a threat to a city, threat to multiple cities, even clash with this being known as Monster Garo. Garo, you know, the guy that blew up planets? You know, the guy that was mimicking people's powers Darkshine didn't fight this version of this character, but he fought an earlier version of Garo that wasn't nowhere near this level that destroyed the planet though. But this is still, you got to give some credit to Darkshine to fighting any version of this guy, because the evolution this guy made was crazy. But yeah, of course, he can't surpass Saitama because Saitama's too strong and he adapts too fast. But see, it's really hard to rank Darkshine based on Garo because his power was changing rapidly and evolving throughout the saga. But I will have to admit, though, Darkshine did eventually end up getting stronger. Darkshine did eventually get overpowered by this guy. This is mainly because his limiter was starting to break. He was starting to become the opponent that you would eventually see him fight Saitama. He started changing and stuff, you know. Even though Garo eventually surpasses him, there is some shining moments that Darkshine does show against him, eating his attacks here, flexing them off of him here, punching him that hard through a whole bunch of walls, causing all that collateral. There was even points in this fight where Garo was on the ropes. He even says, if that lands, it's instant death. Deflection is not possible. There's so much power in a single attack. Look how much damage he did to him with his attack. Yeah, Darkshine can produce this much power. But yeah, I can't really say he's comparable to Garo. But other S-class beings like Bang, for example, can do major damage to dragon-level threats like the Elder Centipede, you know, threat to multiple cities in the lore. Despite Bang being able to do damage to Elder Centipede-level beings with his strikes and fighting skills and super strikes and stuff, Bang's attacks can't damage Darkshine. You know, he was getting advantage of a Darkshine in a previous fight they had, sparring session they had in the past. He couldn't actually inflict damage on Darkshine, even though this guy can damage Elder Centipede level beings. Reflexes and fighting speed, even though he's big and bulky, even all these kicks coming at him like this, like after image style, he's fast enough to react and hit beings going faster than the speed of sound, basically. Well, he's one of those characters that lacks screen time, but what do you guys think? He just got to work on that being scared of stuff. Be more braver, man. You're a hero. But regardless of all this, you got to respect him still, even though he's kind of a chicken when it comes to true challenge, but he's still a beast. What do you guys think? I want to hear you guys' thoughts below. But before I get going, I gotta say, thanks for the donations, everybody. It helps out a lot. Respect Darkshine. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.